Hey everybody, welcome or welcome back. My name is Monique and welcome to Medora Budgets. I'd like to thank anybody who's liked or commented on any of my videos, and especially those that have chosen to subscribe to my channel. Truly started this as a way to hold myself accountable, but I understand, recognize, and appreciate the community as a whole. So if you are rocking with me on this journey, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you haven't made up your mind yet, sit with me for a spell. At the end of this video, if it's content you find valuable or enjoyable, please feel free to subscribe. It's myself and Sweets, married with a whole bunch of kids, trying to figure out our future family finances so the decisions we're making now won't negatively impact us in the future. Do not have on my watch today, so I am messing everything up. Hold on, let me get my watch on. All right, I am back now. Let's keep this thing going. All right, let's see what they say. It is Wednesday, the 8th, and we are here to do I don't know what we're doing. I don't know if it's a budget with me, if it's just a messy budget kind of thing, but we shall see what it all turns out to be. All right, so first of all, as far as the goals that I had before, remember it wasn't about rules, it's about routine. And so it's starting to establish some better routine when it comes to an AM and a PM schedule. And so that's what I'm working through now, as well as trying to do a little bit of planning overall. I am a little bit off track in the timing of when these things are happening, but these are all considered a part of my AM routine. Usually I start my day, I started at 6:30, but I lay in the bed contemplating life from 6:30 to 7. So I may start to change that up a little bit more. Start my AM routine a little bit earlier because I really need to be logged in and starting work at 9. That's when my work begins. And so that's this block of time right here. I'm going to do some practice time for ASL, work on conversations, and then check YouTube Studio for comments, etc. during my lunch break here. And then going into my PM routine here and the types of things that I need to take care of there. So I am trying to do more of a block schedule, I guess would probably be the best thing, leaving my work time free so that I can concentrate on those things that I need to. Yesterday I had a top 3. And then if I plan something or schedule it, like I planned to go to Zumba, but work was taking up quite a bit of time. I wasn't able to make Zumba, so I leave it on the schedule. I just cross it out to let myself know I didn't make it that day. Yesterday, I was able to finish those 3 things that we had, but I have a top 5 today that I'm working through. So I have taken care of the ThesCon fees, so I'm gonna go ahead and mark that off. And I'm making my budget video now and had worked through my budget today. I had canceled my Fubo TV subscription to save that $100 now that the NFL regular season is done. But lo and behold, I thought that the Super Bowl was going to be on CBS. Turns out it's going to be on Fox. So you will see it in the budget for as a February bill that needs to be paid, or a subscription that will get paid. After that, we'll go ahead and have that canceled off. So trying to make sure that I'm staying on track, even working through a tracker here. I'm not used to doing this tracker thing, but we are working through it. I haven't marked off the 8th yet, but my top habits that I want to track: praying, planning, practicing, a 15-minute clean like we talked about, and then clearing out my inbox, and then my supplements, and making sure I'm doing that. But now I can tell you this because my twin was up. So definitely less than 6 hours for sleep today. All right, so I was trying to work through the budget. And if you guys know anything and have seen my messy budget kind of plan or process, you know that I tend to try and work out a 2-month or 4 paycheck in advance every time I get paid. So when I got paid on January the 27th, I started to work through this process the week after, not the day after this time, but it was more so the week after. I started to work through what my check would look like for January the 10th, the 24th, February 7th, and the 21st, I think are the dates for those. Now keep in mind, I always write down my bills account, my bills that I have that come out of my bills account, as well as the high priority sinking funds. All of that together should total, at one time it was $1,375, now it's up to $1,500, because I do want to give a little bit more for buffer, and I want to account for the June vacation that I had, and what it looks like for my variable expenses, low priority sinking funds, and my savings challenges. All of those come out of that variable money. As I was working through this list, I started to recognize a few things. I wanted to do $150 towards buffer up until the end of March, and then that should give me about $1,500 and then I would start to delineate it. That's just not going to be possible with the things that I want to take care of, especially as I added this June vacation sinking fund here. Also, I now have a category called property care. So I used to have one that just said property insurance, but now I want to handle anything dealing with the property overall. The homestead, I guess, overall would fall into property care. So it's going to be property insurance, the home warranty insurance, protection plans like Ring, getting the lawn done, getting the trash done. And so I am adding now and making that property insurance, property care, and I'm going to beef up how much money goes into that one and less money going into subscriptions because I am making changes there. You add it all together, I was looking at about $440 or $450 every paycheck that needed to go towards this based on what I initially wanted to give. That wasn't working out well as far as my bills were concerned. Those two numbers never added up to $1,500 or less. It was constantly higher when I did the January 10th, and then it was higher again when I did January 24th. Even with me making changes to my bills, now using Visible, so reducing my Verizon down, etc., it still was a struggle. So going forward, these high priority sinking funds altogether won't be more than $400. That gives me roughly $1,100 to worry about bills overall. All right, so as I worked through all of that, that then led to this. All right, so we're back over here, and I'm going to go to the Budget Mom. Budget with me. So when I go to the Budget Mom form that I have online, remember I got it as a PDF for $10. All right, so let's see. I hope you guys can see that. Well, I'm going to scooch in anyway. All right, so for rollover, I'm going to mark that off as no money, but I think there's about $30 that I actually am going to end up rolling over. We'll see when we get to our actuals after all of this clears. I do get paid on January the 10th, and so today is the 8th, so I guess this will be considered a budget with me. There you go. So for bills account, I've got $1,500. Variable account, $825 plus the $50 from Micah. That's how I came up with the $875 that I'll be working with there. So a total of $2375 that I'll be working with overall. For my fixed expenses, now I have a lot of debt that I have to cover this particular paycheck cycle because paycheck cycle ends on the 23rd. I get paid on the 24th. That's when city is due. I'd like for it to be in a couple of days earlier than that, than right on the date, because I just don't want any problems. So because of that, I've had to incorporate the city credit card into the January 10th paycheck cycle, which means I'm going to give less towards my mortgage that I have over here this paycheck cycle, more towards that one, the check that I received on the 24th. Okay, so that's the way that that's going to work. So mortgage is only going to have $100 set aside for that this paycheck cycle, $255 to auto, $96 to AT&T. It has gone up about $5. And then water, I think I'm back at $37 again, if I'm not mistaken. So that's at $40. And so overall, that's going to be a total of $491 towards fixed expenses. That should leave me $1,884 left over from the check. As I mentioned before, groceries, gas, home dining, meds. Corinne's getting $40. My me money is $80. And for this time, it's going to be emergency. There you go. Emergency gets the money this time, $25. That totals $615. Remember, emergency and dues swap each other out every month until all of my class dues are paid off. And I think that's supposed to happen come March. At that point, it will just be $25 towards emergency. One other thing I will mention as far as my fixed expenses, because I have seen a few new followers, you won't see pet insurance, you won't see car insurance, you won't see tithe. There are some things that come out of my check automatically before I even get money deposited into my bills account and my variable account. And those are some of the bills. So you will never see them here, but that doesn't mean that I don't have them and I'm not paying them. They just are automatically deducted, and then I get my money for my bills account and variable account. Okay. All right, so wait, let me go over. So variable expenses, those total $615. When you subtract that from $1,884, that should leave me $1,269. And we actually come over to debt next. So debt, Nelnet, student loan gets $45. Rooms to go 100, Kohl's 50, Green Sky 90, Best Buy 50, and then City credit card gets $225 because I did make a transfer Tuesday of about $50 already. So this City amount of $225 will help to meet the minimum payment, and then my expectation is that I'll be able to contribute even more towards that when I get my January 24th check, but my minimum payment will already have been taken care of, so then I'm good. When you total all those together, that's $560. That should leave me $709. And then when I was talking about before, my high priority sinking funds, and I include South Carolina land in that, although that one is fully funded right now. But my high priority sinking funds altogether should never total more than $400. That's going to be my limit on that amount. And then for low priority sinking fund and savings challenges together, I don't want to go higher than $250. Now, it might be lower than that some months just because it needs to be lower than that, but it should never be higher than that overall. So that'll be $250. So both of these together in this section for savings goals equals $650, and that would leave me with a leftover of $59. If this holds true for my budget, then I'll have some additional money to give towards the Transfer Tuesday for the City credit card. Now, scratch and save is pretty interesting because I have down that that's going to be $35, but I actually don't know. So we're going to find out right now. All right, so let's see which challenge we're going to use for the scratch and save that we have. And remember, whatever I scratch off is what I'm going to put into my acrylic box. Yes. So that's what I'm doing the scratch and save for. I have no idea what I'm going to use this money for. Who knows? All right, I keep getting caught up on this one of my cards. Let's see, there you go. And maybe we start with that one. No, let's start with this one. Let's start with this one first. There you go. So remember, these came from Save with Rose. She has them available on her YouTube page, and you can get to her Ko-Fi link from there. Ko-Fi, coffee, whatever they call it. Okay, so this is the challenge. Oh, so pretty. And let's go ahead and scratch off the first. I actually don't know how much these things are for. So let's see. Let's just start up here at the top. Oh, not bad. That says $5, but I've allotted at the most $35. Keep going. Uh-oh. Okay, 10. There's no other zero behind that, right? No, $10. All right, so that's what, 15? Ooh, should I? Okay. Ooh, like Tara say for Journey with Wisdom. Journey to Wisdom and Wealth. Tara, she's like, ooh, she hates the scratch offs because this just builds this anxiety. Ooh, Lord. I started now. 10, 15. Another 10. That's 25. 25. Okay, nothing higher than 10. Okay. Woo. Woo. Yeah. There's no zero behind there, is it? No. Okay. All right, so we are at, what is that? $10, $20, $30. All right. Okay. And so that would change this to $645. But what I am going to do is take that $5 and I'm going to put it in Corinne. So my numbers stay the same. She is going to get her hair done. All right, there you go. So now all of my numbers will stay the same. Okay, so total $650 as far as my savings goes are concerned. And then that leaves me a leftover of $59. So this is the budget with me that we have for the paycheck I will receive on January the 10th. I think we are good. I am still working through the messy budget because I think there are going to be some weeks there or some paycheck cycles there where A lot of bills need to be paid just because of the way that they fall. But my hope is that as I make some additional changes to my budget, especially around subscriptions and some other things, I might be able to accommodate for that. I can let you know part of the problem that I'm experiencing right now is my utilities typically go down. So the electric typically goes down, the water typically goes down, but that's not happening with all these folks that I have living in this house. And then of course, adding in all of this additional savings that I want to do for Little Bean is just in the June vacation time. So I'm adding more that I want to contribute to, and that's making things stretch out a little bit more. But I'm going to get it together. Still storming through what this overall looks like, but I think it's going to be all good. All right, that is it. Thanks everybody for your time. You guys have a good one.